disturbance to your ego is when you try to fight your mother. Now, if you try to fight your mother, you are on a losing streak already. Because to begin with, mother can never be wrong. Your mother is your creator. But you'll find that the person who fights the mother also fights with his love life. He cannot have happiness in love life. And the girl who fights with her father, or who never have a hug from the father, who never enjoyed the father, because of that, she enjoys an unhappy love life. But in some cases, if you hate your father, guess what you get? Somebody just like your father. Somebody just like your father. So you never lose contact with your father. It's the karma. So it's never good to hate your father. And so sometimes, these days, what I'm noticing is that there's a lot of single parents. And being that there are lots of single parents, this affects our society, our love life and so on. Because you can't relate to your lover if you were brought up by a single parent, because you don't form a connection. So that leads to a lot more separation, divorce, and so on. So that's why now we have life code. Now, life code is not just a new thing that I just brought up the other day. It's not ordinary. It's about your life. I can write a story of every one of your life, a story of every one of you in a book, just by your life code, your birthday, and who you interact with. Right? So the story will go according to the karma of the mother, the father, the children, and so on. So I give you a paper here, and it talks about the number 9. I want to look at the conclusion. Conclusion is you have enough paper? Number 9, marriage or partnership must always be checked for death or illnesses. Now, what number 9 is? 666. Remember 666? Comes from the Bible. And this number, 666, plays a very dominant role in the next 2 years in the world. Now, we know what 666 is. Everybody knows what 666 is. It's supposed to be the devil, the number of the beast. It's in your Bible. So 666 is what controls most of our life. And if you understand that if you take 666 and you add up to 18, you get 9. 1 and 8 is 9. So number 9, marriage or partner must always be checked for death, illnesses. In a number 9 marriage, you must be married twice to avoid danger to either one of the couple. Now, you ever notice that somebody get married, the husband dies, or the wife dies, and in the second marriage they're very happy? It's because of the number 9 combination. Right? Now, those who are new, I know some people are new, they're not familiar with the life code. But the life code is really your birth date, which adds up to a number. So that number matches with another number. Right? For example, we said, what's the name? What's your friend name again? The girl who came. She was number 4, right? She's number 3, right? And Benita, right? Benita is a number 3, right? And what's the name? Jury is a number 4. So 4 and 3 is 7. So 7, you know how to get the life goal, right? And then 7 is the number we said is a good match, right? Now if 2 people get married and they add up to a 9, it's a bad match.
How about 6?
6 is also bad, but not as bad as the 9. 6 is half bad. So 6 can be corrected. 9, you have to really do a lot of things to correct that. But when the marriage adds up to 9, then the couple can experience death. Somebody will die in the family when they get married, or somebody will separate, or something like that, or they'll have an accident or something like that. But if they separate before something happens and come back together, then the marriage is good. Right? Now, how do we end up with a number 9 marriage or situation? It's because we inherit that karma from our parents. So, for example, if your father had bad karma with you, you will end up in a number 9 relationship because you have not learned the lessons of life and so on. So it's a little confusing if you don't understand the numbers, right? But think of number 666. Now let me tell you what's good about learning about 666. Is that it tells you when there's going to be a destruction in the world, right? And if you take, for example, in the World Trade Center 9/11, the number was 11, but the actual year of prediction always starts around September, October. Did you know that? The real year is not December and January. The real year, because remember, King George corrected the calendar. So the real year is from September to September. So when does the stock market crash? Always around September, October. When do you get the most earthquakes? Between September and December. Go back and check history, you will see. Whenever there's a destruction, it always happens around between September and December. That's when the new year starts. So even in your life, when your life changes, it changes around September and December. So we will start seeing the changes in the world for 2012 from September of 2011. That's when 2012 starts. So that's why all of these things are happening now, to make the changes in the world. So you start seeing the year changes in the September. So usually if your love life is going bad, what happens? When does it change? In September. So it's very important that you understand that your life is going to change in September, October, not in January. So that's when you'll start seeing the changes. So 9/11 happened in 2001 September, but it's really 2002. So if you take the 11, it's interesting with 11. The flight was 11, the date was 11, New York State is 11th state, New York City has 11 letters. The first hijacker had 11 letters. The flight was 11 that hit it first. The building looked like 11. It was 110 floors. That's 11. If you take all the 11s and you add up to 2002, you get 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 across the board. Hence the world attraction. So this number 666, I need for you to look at it very closely. Because the 666 is what comes into play in any form of destruction. So the book of Revelations is really a book of codes. It was later added to the Bible. It has all the codes that are going to affect the world as well. So life code tells you 666 is number 9. So that's why if you look at some of these cases here, you'll find that the people who get married, they don't realize what's happening. They don't realize that when they got married, somebody's going to die. So we had this lady yesterday, in fact, in the office yesterday, and she got married 3 times, and all 3 times she got married, the guy died. And it came out to 9. Or 6. Right? Was it 6? And so, how do you avoid that? How do you prevent that? And you prevent that by getting the knowledge of the life code. Learning the numbers now. Now, I don't know how hard it is to convince you, but what we're doing here in the life code is not made up. Not nothing like astrology. It's much more powerful than that. It's all about your life.
All these situations you have here in the paper about marriage and child and so on. The problem will be solved if we become more spiritual. That's the sign.
Right.
Behind all this. Know who is guilty.
Well, nobody's guilty.
Nobody's guilty.
Because nobody knows what's going on.
The solution is being more spiritual.
Right.
So that will solve the problem.
Yes. And by being more spiritual, you understand yourself more. That's what happens. For example, number 8 people. They're very material. Right? It's very hard for them to see the spiritual. But if they understand that, then they'll be more careful. Right? In this case, Jury, for example, is number 4. He's hardworking. Right? But if he goes to the boss and he says, I don't want to work hard, it's not going to solve the problem. You have to accept that. You have to work hard. So once you accept it, it becomes easier. Right? So, if Benita was with children, she loves children.
For example, for children, it's number 2.
Yes.
It makes 9.
Right. But so her test is children. But she has to accept that test for us so as to know that, okay, children is her test. So whatever your life code is, that's you have your karma, your test, you cannot evade it. You have to work with it. So that becomes your purpose. Her purpose is children. Her life is to dedicate it to the children. That's why. That came from her mother. Her mother had, when she was born, pregnant with her, that's where the karma was presented. Her mother also missed the children. So it comes from the parents. So if everybody's aware of that, when they're more spiritual, then the world will become more spiritual. That's why we wouldn't have too much number 9 children and too much number 6 children and all of these things. So you see, the new world after 2012 will have less destruction, less destructive people. The children that will be born will be better children. The children that are growing now is going to have more education, more knowledge through the internet and so on. So knowledge is the key to everything.